Okay, let's get ready to roll. I love that song, but it's pretty long, but hey, it puts you in the zone. Anyway, here we are. We catch Beatrice Noel over here rocking to that song. We're going to stir those brain cells up so you can present everything excellently like you have been doing. And then Priscilla G is over there with the dope avatar chilling out in the corner. But I want to center you out and put you right here. Take myself off of it because you're going to be center stage. You know what I look like.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Again. Let's do it again.
Yeah, because what we're going to discuss today is also concern, like, especially Africa, because my concern is the Black community. So the United Nation of Africans or of Black people. That's my only concern. Because it seems that we may be the collateral in this BS of espionage. So, but before we start, I gotta start with some gossip, okay? Just to break the ice. Yeah, man, cause it's some stupid. Cause that this is what they call anti-Semitism. So it seems that one of the guys working in the FedEx warehouse found that FedEx was about to ship hundreds of thousands of cadaver body bags. So which is kind of looks like suspicious. I mean, why you need all them body bags for? And they're not even going to be shipped outside the United States. They're going to be distributed inside the United States. But it's just the way this person wrote it, because it's just completely, absolutely anti-Semitic. He said, whistleblower revealed extermination plan for rounding up Caucasian and Christian. Two-thirds of all Caucasian are prophesied to perish as per Bible prophecy. Whatever. Wow. So he says the Jews are Edomites according to their own writings and not Shemite. Edomites get their own special punishment according to the book of Obadiah. In the 1925 Jewish Encyclopedia, it states Edom is modern Jewry, the Jewish ANSI. So it says the Jewish Almanac 1980, page 3 states Jews are not Israelites or Hebrew. The Pharisee, which are now the Ashkenazis, told Jesus the Messiah that they are of Abraham's seeds, but were never in bondage, which can only mean one thing. The Jews were never in the Exodus, but rather it was the Caucasian that are the true Israelites, or the tribe of Jacob, Israel, that were in bondage in Egypt. The Pharisee Ashkenazis are descendant of Esau, which mixed with other races and became known as the Edomites. So basically, he's saying that the Jews are plotting to kill white folks in the thousands in the United States. That's what.
You know what? If we have a power outage right now and the show gets cut off, then we know it's true.
Yes, no problem. So, yeah, I know. So, in a sense, the only point I agree with him is the Ashkenazis, like he said, they did come from Poland and Germany. That's the only thing I agree with. But everything else, that's some crazy shit. Where you come up with this bullshit? So he says that this is a race war between God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his son, Jesus, and his holy seed, which are Caucasian, and all the Caucasian Christian graft in against Satan and his serpent race, the Jew. What the hell's wrong with these people, man? And all the pre-Adamic races, the black, the yellows, and oh, wait a minute, I'm in it too. I'm the Satan seed. What the fuck? The black, the yellows, and the brown. Whoa. Okay, that ain't cool, man. That's just pure racist. Okay, I thought it was funny, but no, this is stupid. Come on, man. No. The Jews always get the blacks, the Arab, and the other races to do their dirty work. Now, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't fantasize of killing white folks. Like y'all always fantasize of killing us. I don't do that. That's just savage.
Where did you read that?
I was just looking like Espionage and this just pop up out of nowhere.
Oh wow.
So the thing is, he said FedEx shipped hundreds of thousands of body bags across the U.S., most likely in preparation of a mass death as the government gets ready for mass rollout of COVID-19 vaccine and Biden's 100 million vaccine in the first 100 days in office. When was this written? Oh, that was March. That's this month. That's May 27th. Yeah, a couple days ago. Okay.
Yep, 2 days ago.
Yeah. So take into consideration that it is just one FedEx facility. So that I would be kind of suspicious that because obviously because he showed the pictures where it showed that they're being transported across the U.S. and not outside the U.S. So yeah, that is suspicious. Why are there so many body bags? But then to go turn it around and say that Jews are trying to kill white folks, and what the oh my God. And then what do I need to call us seeds of Satan? What the fuck? I didn't see that part. So he said this is where it got even more jacked up. He says that he's saying that the war, this is a war between the Edomite Jews, the children of the devil, and the Caucasian and Christian, who are the holy seed of God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the true tribe of Jacob, surname Israel. Like, what? What? And so Adam is mad as hell as his brother Jacob Israel for taking his birthright, and he is coming for the inheritance. What? The U.S. government have already started Project Pogo and Zephyr, and are planning to come for all the patriots, intellectuals, and Christians very soon.
Wow.
You mean white intellectual? Because there's intellectuals in any races. There's Christian in any race too. So I don't know. I'm confused. But here, wait. Here. Americans should flee America, which is Babylon the Great. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob warned us in Jeremiah 51, verses 6 to flee America. Manasseh and Ephraim, Britain and Commonwealth, as both America and Britain and the Commonwealth will be destroyed. Canada and Mexico will be destroyed as a casualty of war. Best place to go is the Middle East, either Egypt or Jordan. The greater theater second exodus will commence in Egypt, so that my he don't know how to write English, so that's my recommendation. Do not go to an island or the coastline or top of a mountain, as there will be tsunamis and the mountain will all fall down, according to Revelation 6 verses 16.
Okay.
Yeah, this is he's quite detailed in what he wants and what he's saying in his projections.
Okay.
But you're going to get a lot of that. You're going to get a lot of that because people are squeezed right now and they want to find a way out and they want to put the blame here and there, and they're mixed with different religious ideologies and perspectives and emotions and sometimes mental sicknesses. So you're going to get things out there. You saw no pictures and no proof of anything with the body bags, but they put that story out there. So what's the purpose? I mean, hey.
Fear mongering.
Yeah, it is. Like, man, I would find out why you need hundreds of thousands of body bags, okay? But now you take the story and flip it and say that it's Jews and blacks and Arabs are trying to kill you. Like, okay, now this is stupid. This is just stupid. Besides that, this is why I got interested in the espionage. I mean, the rivalry between FSB and the CIA is all rounds up to the guy that got arrested in Belarus, Ramin Pratasevich. So the thing is, he was flying from Greece to Lithuania. So he had nothing to do with Belarus whatsoever. What Belarus did, they told the plane, what's his flight, whatever, what's the name of that flight? So they told the plane that there's a bomb on it, and they forced the plane to land. And as soon as the plane landed, there was no bomb. They just went and arrested the guy. So people are starting like screaming left and right, oh, why they're doing that? It's violation of human rights, violation of international law, There should be a sanction against Belarus. But then at the same time on social media, rumors are rising up that Ramin Pratasevich is a CIA asset.
Okay.
Yeah, at the same time. Because it is said it's the FSB who got him and is torturing him right now. So I don't know. But if supposedly he's that, then what did he do to the Russians? Because this is why people are suspecting that's what he is. Because there are pictures that are submerged of him protesting and hanging out with the Polish Nazis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, showing picture of him with Polish Nazis that damaging the private property. And then there are pictures of him in the military. Because he was for a while in the military. The picture was from 2005, I believe. And then finally, 2015, finally there's another, because he's not really subtle. Because all that shit's on social media.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He's not really subtle because they got all that shit from his profile. Because then there's a post he posted in 2018 where he said that he arrived in Warsaw, Poland. And then on April 20, 2018, April 2018, he flew via Brussels to Washington, D.C. And on the 23rd, he posted pictures with the subtitle, "The most important week in my life begins." The same day, he posted a picture of himself inside the U.S. State Department, stating, "Never had so many important and interesting encounters in my life."
Just telling you right there.
Okay, and you're just a journalist from Poland.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, okay? So at that point, I'm like, I don't even want to hear the rest. This is stupid, because that's all the evidence. And he's not subtle. It's all over his social media. Most likely, what they say is true. Because actually, Ben Norton, Ben Norton, usually he shows up and he's a host on Russia Today. Because I'm like, why Ben Norton would say something like that? And he just started following the trend, and his pictures keep popping up with Nazis. So, and then you see his picture in the military to the picture, and I found that post. Like, he's not really that subtle. Bitch, you wanted to get arrested. This is stupid. Yeah, you want to get arrested. So today's segment, I wanted to start with chapter 13 from The Art of War of Susan.
Please
because
share that with us.
I know, right? Because I even took the quote. It says, "Knowledge of the enemy and disposition can only be obtained from other men. Hence the use of spies, of whom there are 5 classes: local spies, inward spies, converted spies, doomed spies, and surviving spies. When these 5 kinds of spy are all at work, none can discover the secret system. This is called divine manipulation of the threads. It is the sovereign most precise faculty. Having local spies means employing the service of inhabitant of a district. Having inward spies, making use of officials of the enemy. Having converted spies, getting hold of the enemy's spies and using them for one own purposes. Having doomed spies, doing certain things openly for purposes of deception and allowing our spies to know of them and report them to the enemy. Surviving spies, finally, are those who bring back news from the enemy's camp. Hence, it is that which none in the whole army are more intimate relations to be maintained than with spies." He read the book. So spies cannot be usually employed without a certain intuitive sagacity, which means you got to be flowing in cash, and you have to be very precise with what you want with the spy. They cannot be properly managed without benevolence and straightforwardness. So without
keep talking. I just want to show the cover of a new book out today, "The Laws of Human Nature."
Yep.
By Robert Greene, the one who made 48 Laws of Power. Looks like it too.
Oh, yeah.
The Laws of Human Nature. This is going to make
nice.
This is going to connect with what I already been through, and this is going to bring it out. Oh man, I just don't never think a black man doesn't read, y'all. I'm not saying anybody here.
Okay.
But we're going to get more powerful. But go ahead. I just wanted to say that little quick part in there. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So without some ingenuity of mind, one cannot make certain of the truth of the report. Be subtle, and use your spies for every kind of businesses. If a secret piece of news is divulged by a spy before the time is ripe, he must be put to death together with the man to whom the secret was told. Well, I cannot disagree with that, because you just ruining somebody's meal. So I can't disagree. So the enemy spy who have come to spy on us must be sought out, tempt with bribes, led away, and comfortably housed. Thus, there will become converted spies and available for all services. It is through the information brought by the converted spy that we are able to acquire and employ local and inward spies. It is owing to his information again that we can use the doom spy to carry false tidings to the enemy. Lastly, it is by his information that the surviving spy can be used on appointed occasion. So the end and aim of spying in all its 5 varieties is the knowledge of the enemy. So this knowledge can only be derived in first instance from the converted spy, which is true. We did the converted one. So hence it is essential that the converted spy be treated with the utmost liberality. That means be very generous with money with them. So hence it is only the enlightened ruler and the wise general who will use the highest intelligence of the army for purpose of spying, and thereby they achieve great results. So basically that's the essence of spying. So I think it's good because I don't know because how the both agencies work, but from I don't know how subtle the Russians are. I think they apply the art of war better than the Americans because in that sense they're way more subtle because you don't see them coming at all. You don't see them coming. Just like what happened with the election, we didn't see that coming.
Right.
It wasn't even our election. They manipulated the election in all the Caribbean, in Africa, and in Europe. We didn't see that coming until there was a whistleblower in Cambridge Analytica. That's how we found out.
Wow, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, praise this dude to the whistleblowers.
I know, right? Because that's why now... That's why there's a preponderance of Nazis in Western Europe now. It's all thanks to the Russian. They've been financing this. So you might as well call those Nazis the useful idiots. So then we got to the thing is, KGB or FSB now and the CIA, they have taken... They basically, because before spying and assassin was two different things, but KGB and CIA made them to put them together. Spying comes with murdering, and in their mind it's for the greater good. Well, you're not working for the greater good. You're working for the super rich and super powerful. So it's not the greater good. And that's what brought the downfall of every terrorist and assassin group in history. So to begin with, there was the Sicaries. The Sicaries were like Hebrew rebels or Jewish rebels against Roman occupation. This is where they were so feared. It's because they were not attacking specifically the Roman. They were attacking Jew collaborators.
Right.
So they would go in village where they know people are collaborating with Romans, now and loot and murder everybody in there. The reason they were called Sicaries is because the blade they were using is kind of like a little bit arched. So that's why they were called Sicaries. It's because of the blade. Then after that, there were the Thuggies. The Thuggies are like members of a cult, the cult of Kali, because they worship the goddess Kali. So in a sense, I can understand why they murder people, because in the legend, Kali, just like any other woman, she bleeds every month, and she's in need to be replenished with blood. So when you do a sacrifice to Kali, you're just replenishing her with the blood that she has lost. So in a way, the Thuggies are killing and in honor to replenish Kali with the blood she has lost. But this is why they were like the trademark, because those assassins, they always have a trademark. They would strangle people. That's how you know the dirty work was done by the thuggies. And just like the assassin, that they would, like, if they were like orphans, they would take those children and turn them into assassins too, which is kind of fucked up. So the thing is, with the bro, I be with the Sicaries, the thuggies, or the assassin, you wouldn't know who it is.
Right.
Because especially with the thuggies and the assassins, there could be soldiers, there could be merchants, there could be nobles, there could be aristocrats, there could be the kings, like, like the right hand. You would know. That's how Jalaluddin almost died, because it was his right hand who almost murdered him. You would know who they were, because Jalaluddin was really afraid of them. So in the thuggies, it was actually the British in the 19th century who put an end to it, because now they're pretty much, they started networking and broadcasting what the thuggies were doing, and basically have the people snitch on them and report them, and that put an end to the thuggies. So basically now it's just a cult. And finally we have the assassins. The assassin was founded by the Hassan al-Sabah. So he basically was a revolutionary, but he just took that shit to the next level. Because you cannot really call him a terrorist, but he was. But it's just the way he done it. Because the thing is, it's in Persia, and they were fighting the occupation of the Turks. So he spent years in the military. So, and he was already like an intellectual. He was good with astrology, mathematics. He was a medicine. There's nothing this guy didn't know. So with all that knowledge, first he's gathered a bunch of like very loyal assassins.
Right.
And to keep them loyal, he would feed them hashish, which the name hashashin, because he would drug them with hashish. And this is what become their trademark, is because they wanted like a fortress, a safe house for all the assassins. And that was the Alamut. It's an unpregnable fortress on top of a mountain. So just like because Machiavelli talked about that. He said you just don't just walk in a city and take it. That's where you see that there were spies also, because they infiltrated Alamut, started trading with the merchant and the nobles in there, and before you know it, Alamut was run by the assassin, and they just peacefully kicked out the ruler, and they took the fortress.
Wow.
And for and for 100 years, they were ruling on top of Alamut. That castle was impregnable. It's actually the how do I call them? The Mongols who got rid of them with Genghis Khan, because they were stupid enough to try to murder Genghis Khan. The Mongols, they don't fuck like that. And the thing with Genghis Khan, because his descendants were not like that, but he doesn't attack just for that. There's not a goal. It's out of vendetta. Like when he finally gathered the clan and started like unifying Mongol, it was his personal vendetta against the family that used to oppress him and his mother and his wife. It wasn't like everything he does is like out of or like a sense of justice. That's how he does it. The same way when he went to India to go after Jalaluddin, it was not to conquer India. He was just after Jalaluddin. Once he killed her, he retracted from India. So the same way when he went to Persia, he was interested in Persia. He just went after the assassins. So they were, they're pretty much they're kind of, what's the word? A siege, Alamut, for years until they're completely out of, because the Alamun had enough water and food for years. So that's exactly what the Mongol did. They stood there for years until you got no more food, no more water. You have to get out. And that's how they took Alamun. Then after they killed everybody, they just destroyed the fortress. And that was the end of the Assassins. So this is how he used to train his assassin. Because he would bring on, because people would just volunteer. So when they come, he put them like in the nastiest, stinkiest hall, have them studying and train. And then one day he would pick one of them, a few of them, and drug them. And they would carry them in another side of the fortress where there's like milk and honey flowing. There's beautiful naked women running. You got gold and silk everywhere. So these niggas think they're in paradise, you know? And he was like, he show up saying, if you follow me, you will have access to paradise. So once he says that, they're drugged again and bring them back to the smelly, stinky asshole. So this guy he says it again. If you follow me, you will have access to paradise. Basically, like what, in the Muslim legend where they say, like, when you die, you will meet with 72 virgins.
Jihad.
I think that started with him.
No, but wait a second. How are you going to die and have 72 virgins with the spirit penis? It's not real. It's like, how you going to...
You let me know, friend. You let me know. You let me know. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works, but whatever. So, yeah.
Brother Lance had to think about that one, right?
But he ain't wrong.
I had to think about, like, well, what if I was thinking about something like that?
I'm going to tell y'all a joke. There was this terrorist, I think it was in Afghanistan. This guy, a suicidal bomber. So he went in the street in Afghanistan, but the bomb exploded too soon. So his body was split in half. His legs one side, upper body, and on the other side. And he was like, oh Allah, where are the 72 virgins on the floor?
Oh man, it's messed up.
People are just walking and laughing at your stupid ass. Allah, where the 72 virgin? You like that? This is so stupid.
That's sad. That's sad.
And it's sad too at the same time. It is sad. Well, goodness gracious. But the purpose of spying, normally is to gather intelligence. That's why people spy, is inevitably to gather intelligence. Not only from the enemy, but from like neighboring country. Like if that's why you got also, and like in the 20th century, we came up with corporate espionage, because even though you were getting intelligence from another company, if you're using what you learned, then that's property theft, intellectual property theft.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they came up with laws against that too.
Right.
Because it's really very famous property theft scandal. There's even one with the Hilton. I was surprised that Hilton was doing. Yeah, the Hilton with Starwood, where they had like employees from the Starwood bringing, the knowledge from intellectual property from Starwood to the Hilton, and the Hilton got punished. So not only they had to pay $70 million, but they had to be surveilled or like audited by compliance officers for like a whole year to make sure they're in compliance.
Right.
Gillette was almost victim of property theft, because what happened, they had a disgruntled employee who got fired, and this stupid motherfucker started selling trades to Gillette's competitors. But one of them, she She reported it to Gillette, and this guy got in prison, 2 year prison. One famous one again is HP. I didn't think HP would be that then, but HP was trying to find someone that was leaking their trade, and actually, in trying to find that person, they started spying on their own employee, which is criminal. You can't do that. You're not the law. You can't do that. And
Right.
even the law, you cannot spy on people without a warrant. But they were just spying on people like that just to catch someone. But you know that ain't right. You can't do that.
Right.
You
Right.
can't do that. So, which brings us to the rivalry between the CIA and the KGB. But in between, we got also Mossad. But when Mossad started, it was created to defend the state of Israel. But Mossad took
Right.
that shit to another level because now they're basically spies and assassins for hire by the higher bidder.
Oh, okay.
That's what they are. They're just stealing, spying on everybody, regardless, your enemy or ally, and then they sell that trade to the highest bidder. And that's not right. That's not right at all. Yeah. That's
So
not right at all.
so they don't have an allegiance to Israel anymore.
No, not at all. And that's not even. I think Netanyahu is very aware of what they're doing. And that's why the people started to think that he may be not the greatest leader for Israel. Because they know this. Because Block 8200. Because for the CIA, for here, the spying agency, the intellectual spying is NSA. For Israel, is Block 8200.
Okay.
But this is where Block 8200 become a problem. It's like the employee, when they retire from 8200, they go form their own thing. Spying on spying on private citizen for the highest bidder. I forgot the name of their company. Is it Blackwater? It's something water.
And they have the know-how, their prior experience on how to do this.
Right.
Yeah. Because there was this scandal in, is it Argentina or Mexico, where the journalists would get like really shady texts. And when they try to retrace it, they found out it was coming from Israel. Yeah. And there was another scandal in Sudan, in Egypt, where people would like the government arresting them and asking them questions. They're like, how the fuck you know all that? Where you get that information? And with an investigation from Al Jazeera, we found out it was Block 8200 who's selling people's private information to the highest bidder.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not even for the greater good anymore. It's just point blank period, freaking abusive. So the first assassin known in history were besides the very first one were the ancient Egyptians.
Right.
They would call their spies the eyes of Pharaoh. Then we got the Persian king Cyrus the Great. He would call his spies my eyes and ears, which that's why the term comes from him, the eyes and ears. So the majority, also in the medieval time, the majority of the spies were the priests and the monks. Question is who they were spying for. Is it for the Pope? Most likely. Because I wouldn't be surprised for the Borgia Pope. Because, for example, Lucrece Borgia, she was a very famous poisoner. She would poison her husbands when she doesn't want them anymore so she can marry the next one.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Catherine of Medici, who married the French king. She had 2 squadrons. One squadron was called the Black Squadron. These are the assassins. And she had the Silk Squadron. The Silk Squadron were the beautiful women. That her ladies, court ladies, were in fact were spies and poisoners.
Oh God!
So when she wanted to get rid of you, it's either she used that. If she wanted to like a subtle way, she used the women.
That's just like the one you were telling me about in Haiti, the gay guys that get the beautiful women to seduce the guys.
Pretty much.
Right.
The guy screws them. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. So then again, you're asking yourself the question, is it really for the greater good when you're doing stupid shit like that? That's not for the greater good. That's for your own profit, your own benefit. So the first network of spies, that official network, was actually in France under the reign of Louis the 14th. It actually started with French Cardinal Richelieu, and they're called that network the Cabinet Noir or the Black Cabinet. So they would use correspondence. That's how they would network, like warning, I don't know, Richelieu or whoever was in charge with correspondence of what's going on inside of Versailles. Yep. So, well, after that, what's going on? Oh yeah, that's the thing. Even though they don't like, because you tell them they know. If you ask an Israeli, they know. They didn't just get Israel. The British basically took the Palestinian land and handed it over to them. They know that. You know, you watch any documentary, they'll tell you that. And it can be British, French, they'll tell you. They just took the land and handed it over to them. But to them, it's like, God said that because the land of milk and honey. But wait a minute. If you read the Bible, how they got that land of milk and honey exactly? Didn't they infiltrate the local tribe to know their secret and exterminate them one by one until they got the land of milk and honey? So that back then, you didn't get it legally. That was 2,000 years ago. You know, 2,500 years later, I cannot still call it legally either. Because this is what they were doing. Because when there were already Jews in there. And there were illegal immigrant Jewish coming in. So the thing is, some of them were the Bolsheviks, and the British wanted to get rid of the Bolsheviks. So that's why they agreed to send all the Jews to to Palestine. But then it seems that the British were backpedaling from it. So they started doing terrorist acts. It got so bad that now the United Nations intervened and said that maybe we should give them their own land. So this is so they just
That's
cheated.
how it came about.
Yep. So they cheated the Palestinian on their own land, and before you know it, it didn't just happen like that. No, because that's how Mossad was created. Because they would have Jews coming in illegally. That's how the spy network began. Because they would have spies in Jordan and Lebanon and Syria, like from Damascus, having Jews crossing the border illegally and walking in Palestine. Before you know it, Palestinians were overrun by Jews. You know, and to seal the deal, the American and the British, they give weapon and money to the Jewish state. And in a sense, it's like I said before, it's by design. Because as long as it is there will always be disunion in the Middle East. There will always be fighting. Because
I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah. I know it's not me because this time I have this. Usually I have the speaker.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. It started with the state of Israel, but they never stopped. Until now, they're still spying on the neighboring Arab countries. They're still sabotaging their government. They're still like murdering people.
Right.
And they're not, if it would have stopped there, but no, they're doing it on everybody. in the interest of Israel. For what? Like, why are you spying in the United States? Why are you spying on France and Germany? How is it the state of Israel interest exactly? Why are you doing that? And worse, whatever you're getting, you're selling it to the highest bidder. That's just evil. So basically, not only your privacy being violated, it's violated again because it is sold to the highest bidder. Then I can even and I can even blame them because NSA is doing the exact same shit. CIA is doing the exact same shit. GCX is doing the exact same shit. All of them. Damn it. All of them. And if they're not doing it, you got social media, you got Google doing it. So basically, either way, you can't win. You're basically like livestock. Robin?
No, I said they all have their hand in it.
Yeah. So basically, you're no better than livestock at their mercy. Yep. So basically, the Cold War, to me, what it is, it's a power play between the West and the East. Because I think this is why Russia is huge and China is huge. So already, I guess the size was very intimidating to the West. But then the Russians were doing some really shady shit because they knew a month ahead that Hitler was dead. They had the body. They had that. They didn't tell the American nothing. And they had the American running up and down Berlin looking for a Hitler. Meanwhile, they had Hitler all along. But then, and when the war was over, just like they always do, incognito, they're getting allies. Before you know it, half of Europe was already for the Soviet Union. So Churchill freaked out, and he ran straight to Missouri, Fulton, Missouri, and he went to say, like, what he said? He said that that Stalin said that war is inevitable as long as capitalism exists. He never said that. He never said that. So there's even like the first speech he said, he didn't say anything like that. He said that, but it is impossible under the present capitalist condition of world economic development. He said, as a result of the first crisis of the capitalist system of the world economy, the First World War broke out, and as a result of the second crisis, the Second World War broke out, which is true. Which is true, because the First World War broke out because Germany was broke. So it just went ahead and just started colonizing the neighboring countries. So France, Russia, and Britain intervened to stop them. And of course, if you lose the war, then you become broke again. So that's when there was a major economic crisis in Germany because they had to pay back for the damages they did. And that's how the Nationalist Party, the Nazis, rose out from the underground, and Hitler, before you know it, Hitler was ruling Germany and Austria, and the Second World War broke out. Because basically, it's their nationalist duty to go back and loot the same neighboring countries they were fighting before.
Right.
So also then his second speech, because the second speech he did was in 1952, because I read both of them, the 1946 and 1952, to make sure even, I click on search, look for the word capitalism. He never said war is inevitable. The second one, he says war with USSR as a socialist country is more dangerous to capitalism than a war between capitalist countries, which is true. For the war with the USSR necessarily raised the question of the existence of capitalism itself. That's what he says, which is true, because in a sense, they're a competitor to the West. It's a power play between both of them. It doesn't mean that they're gonna go to war with capitalism. But let's keep it real. I mean, maybe in that they're more subtle colonizers, the Soviet. But y'all, now the OGs of colonizer. Give me a break.
Doesn't matter if they're subtle. I mean, they're getting the job done. They want the same result.
Exactly. You're still colonizers. Give me a break. So, Stalin's intention wasn't to go to war with the West. So, therefore, it's to wonder why Churchill had to say that Iron Curtain. What is it again? Yeah, from the Stettin in the Baltic to the Tristar and the Adriatic, Iron Curtain has descended across the continent. So basically, they split Europe, the Soviet and Western Europe.
Right.
To try to stop the Soviet. But then the war stopped. And before you know it, the West was plotting, they started to do the nuclear race because they were basically prepared to go to war with the Soviet. And they started doing like bomb tests. Do you know, between 1945 and what was the last one? I think it was in 2014. I gotta find the 2017.
Mm-hmm.
There have been 2,147 nuclear bomb detonating on this planet.
Stop it.
You know that
as tests in addition to the ones they did for real in Japan.
Yeah. Hiroshima was nothing. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were nothing. Absolutely nothing compared to what they were testing. Hiroshima was 1.3 megaton.
Mm-hmm.
The one they were testing was like 5 megaton, 10 megaton.
Wow.
And where were they doing this?
And the thing is, this is where they were trying their bomb. And the Fijis, you know, the Pacific Island. What the fuck? That's why those people cannot live on their island because they're radioactive. Even France tested one so close to the Australia, they had to sue France for that. Because it arrived to the coast of Australia. No, these people, these devils.
So that's why all the fish in the oceans, in the Pacific regions, are poisoned.
Okay. So from 1945 to 1992, there were 2,123 atomic bombs that were tested. Okay. So the United States by itself tested 1,121 bombs. USSR 715 bombs. And they just started doing it again, but now they're Russia and not the USSR.
Not USSR. Right.
Yeah. France tested 210 bombs. The United Kingdom 45, but it was in conjunction with the United States because they had nowhere to test them. So also they were doing in the Christmas Islands.
Mm-hmm.
In the Pacific. China tested China 45, and guess where they were testing them?
Tell me.
Shenzhen, where the Uyghurs are.
Where the who?
The Muslim minority they're oppressing right now. The Uyghurs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, North Korea tested 6, but that's very recently. That's why I said in 2017 that was North Korea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, we got India who tested 4. No, between India and Pakistan, 4 were tested because India and Pakistan they're always competing. So India did 2, Pakistan did 2 also.
Right.
Yep. So, but this is where it got fucked up. That ain't shit what I just told you. This is where it got fucked up. In July 1961, the Soviet premier, the leader, Nikita Khrushchev, wanted to make a show of them, the Russians of Soviet might to the United States. So because, I don't know, he just wanted, I don't know if he got intimidated, he wanted to do a show of their might. So he ordered 100 megaton bomb to be developed. And I just told you, Hiroshima was just 1.5 megaton. and he wanted 100 megaton bomb. Guess what happened? So the engineer did not even have enough time to create a 100 megaton. They actually
Right.
created a 57 megaton. So this is the thing. This is why there's so many megaton. Normally the fission bomb. The fission bomb is just uranium that they're rubbing so fast that from uranium 235 it creates uranium 237, it creates uranium 235, and as they keep multiplying it becomes 237 235 237 235, but it expand, and that's why you get the mushroom. It goes so fast that you see the mushroom, but that's fission. What was done in Hiroshima and Nagasaki were fusion bombs, where there's a plutonium fission inside of uranium fission. So that's why it was a 1 megaton bomb. But the bomb that they tried on October 1961, it was so disastrous. They call it the Tsar Bomba, the king of bombs. So that one, it has 3 steps. So the more steps, the more destructive the bomb is.
Right.
So that bomb, when it exploded, it caused an earthquake of magnitude 5.0 in the whole planet.
Damn.
The whole planet shook. That's why everybody knew. That's why everybody knew they tried to bomb like that. That's fucked up. These people were fucking crazy, man. They were trying to kill us. The whole planet shook from the bomb. And you could feel the effect of the bomb 600 miles away. And they did it in the Arctic, so no wonder there's no ice anymore in the Arctic.
That's why the ice caps are melting, because of all the all the chemicals.
Talking about climate change. Forget about the carbon. That's why. That's why there was 2,123 bomb tested on this planet. That's why. Because there even was a research they did about the nuclear winter, where they said that in any one of those bombs, if it is detonated, it will cause a nuclear winter. So that it's not in our interest to try one of this bullshit again. It will be disastrous.
Right, because it's got all of that ash and debris is going to block the sun. It's just going to be too.
That's the worst part of
dense.
It. It's not the mushroom. It's the ashes, because the ashes go even further.
Exactly.
And it's highly radioactive. It's even it goes any further. That's why when they tested the bomb in Alamogordo, so the bomb they tested wasn't really the problem. It's the ashes that went through Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico. And that's why you see birth defect in all those states.
Yes. Well, really and truly, if they were to do something like that, it wouldn't really matter to those of us who are on the surface and got caught up in it, because we'd be dead, right? It's just that the earth would be uninhabitable for a certain amount of time. Now, it's the ones that we have heard have gone underground or are planning to go underground, or live deep in the earth to, shelter themselves from these inevitable things.
These assholes are trying to go to Mars, so they're basically going to kill us and go to Mars.
Yeah, well, that's true. Those that can go.
Exactly. That's why I said they're going to go and leave us to die here. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So now, this is where the rivalry is just destructive, because there's collateral damages. Yeah, because at the same time, you can never know. Because from that BS in the 1960s, was it 1960s or 1950s, came out McCarthyism, where McCarthy was left and right accusing people of being communists when they were not. Basically, they don't like you, you're a communist.
Right.
That's why they consider black people are communists. Black Panther communists. Malcolm X communist. And that was like a free range for them to kill you. Basically, that's what they did with the Black Panther. They just said they were enemy of the state, and before you know it, the police were, picking them up, left and right, shooting them left and right. So, but when you think about it, it's mostly because of what the defector Yui Bismuth said
Right.
about the 4 stage of subversion. Somehow, I mean, you would never know, but probably there were somehow either sponsored or influenced by the Soviet. Because you said the 4 stages of subversion are demoralization, destabilization, crisis, and normalization. So I'm just gonna read what each step are. Is it Bismuth? Is it where that article is? Because each one of them, it takes a certain amount of time to create it. So I think even the Soviet did it. I think they just started all over. That's why January 6th happened. I think it was probably the third step, crisis. So he said, let's see, demoralization. So he said the KGB, the former KGB informant stated that the Soviet intelligence agency used 4 methods to alter the mindset and behavior of people in foreign countries. It wasn't only here. The first step is that of demoralization, which according to him took 15 to 20 years. During the phase, young people are influenced, where he said young people are influenced to question the integrity of a country and raise suspicion through media, propaganda, and academia. Perception takes the center stage and facts become meaningless. He attributes to it the lack of moral standard in society. So you might as well say, which is true. They find out QAnon is a Russian baby. Because the guy that they found a guy that started QAnon. He's Russian.
Oh, really?
QAnon is a Russian baby. The same way was the Russian who instigated, I guess, promote Donald Trump and made him become president. So I can say that Donald Trump becoming president was the second stage, destabilization. That's the second stage he was. Okay, it took him only 4 years to turn the country upside down. Jesus fucking Christ. Because he said for a population self-absorbed in the world of propaganda and theory of Marxism and Leninism, truth loses its grip on to society. The older generation also loses control over the population due to the consistent attacks on their moral fabric, which is that I can date that to 2008 recession. That's exactly what happened with Occupy Wall Street. So he said, Yuri Bezmenev revealed that the demoralization phase was completed before the interview, and the Soviet Union was surprised at its execution. So he also explained how those from the 60s were occupying high position in the government, mass media, and civil services at the time of the interview. So Yuri Bezmenov further claimed that another 20 years would take to create a new generation of patriotic American citizens, which is what we have now. You got to like woke people.
Right.
So that's the thing. So from what he's saying, you can even trust revolutionary we have now. This is how they tinted. And they're not even doing it here. They're doing it everywhere as long as it serves their interest. This is very subtle warfare, man. Very subtle. So you cannot even trust any revolutionary because you don't know if they're sponsored or not by the Russians.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, you don't know. So he said the former no, what is it? Yeah. As per the former KGB informant, destabilization of a country, also referred to as second step, meant altering the nation's foreign relation. Donald Trump. Economy and defense system. Trump. Mm-hmm. He said that the process takes 2 to 5 years to execute. He said that the Marxist-Leninist hold on the American defense and economic sector was fantastic. Bezmenov said that he never thought that the process would be so easy to execute in the United States when he landed there in 1971. He highlighted that a country could be brought to a state of crisis, the third step, in a short time as 6 weeks, and cited the example of the Central America to make his point. Yeah, like what happened in Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Colombia. Yeah, coupled with a violent change in the power structure and economy, the fourth phase of normalization is kicked in, and that can last indefinitely. That's what we should be really worried about.
This is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, we're in complete denial of what happened. And that's what we should be seriously concerned about.
Yeah.
They're in complete denial of what happened.
And acceptance.
Yeah, that made no damn sense whatsoever. So I would say like collateral damages from the war between the West and the East, you might as well put the Black Panthers in it. Or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, because they were labeled extremists and Marxists. Because that's the thing he said when that's the sinister part about it. Is once you serve your purpose, the KGB itself eliminates you. So that's the sinister part about it. So he said
but
that
goes with a lot of these espionage outfits.
Yes. It's not only them.
Because especially the above top secret missions. I mean, when it's that big, you know what I mean? Once you've completed that mission, what can they do with you?
Exactly.
But do you think that they know this when they get into this, when they get involved at first?
Of course
they know
not. No, they don't.
No, because they're idealists. You don't know. They're idealists. That's why they're vulnerable.
The devil.
Yeah.
You're so riled up, you don't even know. You're not paying attention to that.
You know the song, the Secret Agent Man song? They've given you a number and taken away your name. For most of them, they've taken away your identity. They've basically taken you away from everyone that you know or knows you. You're dead to everybody, so you're expendable.
Pretty much.
Secret man.
Yeah, he said he began the interview by revealing that people who told the Soviet Union policies in their home countries were elevated to position of power through media and manipulation of public opinion. Well, I think that's why Hillary called Tulsi Gabbard the agent of Russia when she was not. But however, those who refused to do so were either subjected to character assassination or killed. Bezmenov cited the example of the city of Hue in Vietnam, where thousands of people were executed in one night for being sympathetic to the United States.
Right.
the city was under the siege of a mass political organization named Viet Cong for about 2 days, where the mass killings took place, even though the Central Intelligence Agency could never understand how the operation was carried out. Bezmenov pointed out the extensive network of local informants set up by the Soviet Union to execute those who didn't toe in its line. Like,
Toe
this
the
is
line.
that's fucked up. So, recounting his time in India, the KGB informant revealed how he was shocked to discover the list of known pro-Soviet journalists in India who were doomed to die. He said that even though those journalists were idealistically leftist, that's the problem. Yet the KGB wanted them dead as they knew too much.
There you go. There you go.
Bezmenov emphasized once the useful idiots, the leftists, who idealistically believe in the beauty of the Soviet socialism or communism, get disillusioned, they become the worst enemy. That's why you have to be eliminated.
Yeah.
So it's messed up, and it's sad because
it boggles the mind, doesn't it?
Yeah, because the thing is, for example, the Black Panther, the intention was really honest. They wanted to elevate their people. They're recruiting doctors, creating school, creating canteen.
Right.
And when you listen to Fred Hampton or to Angela Davis at the time, my thought process was Marxism. So you cannot help thinking that maybe they were influenced by that. There's also Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara got influenced by communism and by going to Libya. So that's why you can't stop thinking maybe he was influenced by them too. But actually, the Soviet were in Burkina Faso. That's why France intervened, because they were getting help from the Soviets.
Right.
Maurice Bishop was another one in Grenada.
Right.
He's probably one of the examples of the people who got assassinated, probably eliminated by the KGB, because he said the thing is, those people that think they will be in power, but you will never be. That's not your role. Your role is to change. I mean, to cause chaos, but not to actually control the chaos. But among that, some of the collaterals were, like, for example, China endured 30 years on embargo, man. 30 years. Millions of people died of famine from that bullshit. Million. Yeah, I think millions. And Russia, there was 8 millions.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 millions. But Bezmenov said he was living a life of luxury in India. So Cuba so far is enduring 50 years of embargo. Along with North Korea. So another collateral, I wouldn't say collateral, a production of the rivalry is the Mujahideen and Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Because the thing is, the Soviet, they were trying to squash the opium trade in Afghanistan. And the CIA just got in that bullshit and started bringing weapons to the Mujahideen, armed them, and training them. Among those Mujahideen was Osama bin Laden.
Right.
That's what they were saying, that he was a CIA asset.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Because he was trained by them. So, the same way, but it's after the war with the Russian, they just kind of discarded him because he wanted to go to the war in Kuwait, and they just didn't pay mind to him until 9/11. Then suddenly everybody's paying attention to him. And one last victim, but now I don't know if it's the last victim, but a very famous victim of that bullshit, I think, is Ghassan Kanafani. Because when I read his story, because they said it's Mossad who assassinated him as payback for what happened in Lod. But when I look at it, he was also a fierce Marxist. So who knows? Because I thought it was the American who backed the Mossad, but now I'm wondering if it's really Mossad or the KGB, because you will never know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So the thing is, kind of funny when you listen to him, he was a righteous man. And the weakness of a righteous man is his idealism. So your enemy, knowing that, will bait, they will bait you just with that. And that's what happened with the Black Panthers. That's what happened with Thomas Sankara. That's what happened with Malcolm. They'll bait you just with that because they know you're a righteous man. So you cannot be naive. Unfortunately, even though you want to do good, you cannot be naive. Can we just fall victim between two of the oldest rivalries, ridiculous rivalries?
In other words, don't count on me being nice. Don't count on me holding on to the morals that you think I have. Like, it's good to do that, but it's also good to show these enemies that, well, you think that I have a line drawn. Well, for you, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, be that way, but be prepared that when somebody comes at you, counting on the fact that you're going to be this high moral valued person, that you're not, that you can be just as much a piece of crap as they are and just fight dirty. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned in life. They come at you that way, counting on with their battle plan. Show them something different. Show them that you'll stab them in the eye. You'll punch their grandma in the face. You'll throw their uncle over the cliff. I'm not saying do these things, but I'm just saying there's no limits. That's a big shock. I thought he was moral, had high morals. I didn't know he would do that.
Yeah.
Go to the part of the field that they never expected you to fight and shock them right back. There's no holds barred. Sorry about that.
No, I agree with you. That's why I think it's essential that everybody reads The Art of War or the Prince by Machiavelli. You can, yeah, because this is the story of Kanafani. Okay, Gaston Kanafani, he was a Palestinian activist, so he's an author and a progressive journalist. So the thing is, his mission was to vindicate the rights of the Palestinians. So he informed the world of the oppressive hold of Israel over the Palestinians. So the thing is, his father was an activist. His father was a lawyer who was fighting against the British, what the British were doing to the Palestinians. And his father got arrested several times. And when, the first Intifada happened, he had to exile with his family to Damascus. And when he exiled, he was only 12 years old, which would explain his passion against what's going on in Palestine. So this is where he started shaping the world. So he would write short stories. He became a teacher. And he would write short stories to educate young Palestinians of what's going on in Palestine. So he spent he spent a good portion of his time while teaching in Kuwait, reading Russian literatures. So he was murdered in 1972. So, which is, because first I was like, maybe it's the CIA, but then I'm like, nah, Russian literature, you already know who's doing it. Yeah, because his political views were influenced by Marxist philosophy. So the thing is, Mossad, they claim his assassination as payback for the terrorist attack in Lod Airport in Tel Aviv, where 26 people were killed and 80 people were injured. And among the 26 people that died, coincidentally, there was a candidate to president, to become a president.
So you think that was a coincidence?
I know, right?
That's you need one kill and kill a whole lot.
But this is why it's even more shady, because that same candidate, Aaron Kadzir, he was a biophysicist.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, they knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
He was a biophysicist.
Exactly.
So most likely this guy was making chemical weapons. So,
but for who?
No, no, most likely for Israel, because he was most likely the one who was become the president of Israel, of the state of Israel. So most likely,
Mm.
but the thing is, it's kind of lame that like you compare the death of a presidential candidate to the death of a journalist. The guy was a journalist. He wasn't active, but he was mostly a journalist. He did not participate in any bullshit. He just writes and speak. That's all he did. I mean, true, he inspired millions, and he's still inspiring generations nowadays. He still is.
So
Yeah,
that's more dangerous.
so probably that's what he was. They were killing an idea or an ideal, not actually a person.
A person, right?
Yeah, because actually I copied one of his interviews because this dude knew how to talk back and clap back the devils. He said one of his famous quotes: "The history of the world is always the history of the weak people fighting strong people, of weak people who have a correct cause, a correct case, fighting strong people who use their strength to exploit the weak."
Mm.
So this is the interview he did in 1970. I think it was with BBC. Of course, the British. But I don't know what this white man thought he was thinking. I mean, this is kind of stupid. He said, "Why won't your organization engage in peace talks with the Israelis?" You don't mean exactly peace talks. You mean capitulation, surrendering. He said, "Why not just talk to the Israeli leaders?" He said, "What kind of conversation is between the sword and the neck?" That conversation is between the sword and the neck union. That's what you're talking about. He said, "Well, it is if there are no sword and no guns in the room, you could still talk." No, I have never seen any talk between a colonialist case and the National Liberation Movement. He said, "But despite this, why not talk?" Talk about what? He said, "The possibility of not fighting." Not fighting for what? He said, "Not fighting at all, no matter what for." Young people usually fight for something, and they stop fighting for something. So you can't tell me even why should we stop? Why should we speak about stop fighting? So stop fighting to stop the death, the misery, and the destruction. The pain, the misery, and the destruction of whom? He said of Palestinian, of Israeli, of Arab, of the Palestinian people who are uprooted, thrown into camps, living in starvation, killed for 20 years, and forbidden to use even the name Palestinians. But better that way than being dead. That's why I said you're a fucking devil. It's like telling me better than be slave than to die. That's what you're saying. So he said, maybe to you,
coward.
Okay? Maybe to you, but to us, liberate our country to have dignity, to have respect, to have a mere human rights is something as essential as life itself. So he came back and said, "Oh, it does seem that the civil war has been quite fruitless. It's people defending themselves against a fascist government, which you are defending. So, well, whatever it might be best called, it's not whatever. It's not a civil war or a conflict. It's a liberation movement fighting for justice. So, well, whatever it might be called, that devil. Devil. But it's not whatever, because this is where the problem starts. This is what makes you answer all your questions. This is a people who is these are people who is discriminated, is fighting for its rights. This is the story. If you will say it's a civil war, then your question will be justified. If you say it's a conflict, then of course it's a surprise to know what's happening. It's your organization that's been on one side of the fight. What has it achieved? We achieved teaching every single people in the world that we are a small, brave nation who are going to fight to the last drop of blood to put justice for ourselves after the world failed and giving it to us.
And that's the reason why he's not here.
Exactly. That's the reason why he's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad. Yeah, that's sad.
Mm-hmm. That's the reason. He
Yeah.
was a true revolutionary. He wasn't just a reporter.
Yeah, no, obviously, because he went through the Intifada. They experienced all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And his writing is very like inspirational and beautiful because you can listen to his writing on YouTube. So this is where I got problem between this rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because that's the KGB. They're subtle. They're like subtle colonists. Subtle. It's not like over in your face like in the West. But it's the way the United States are doing their thing. So, and by the way, we blew up way more bombs than everybody else to begin with. So, and in November 1951, okay, during the Korea War, do you know we almost bombed Korea?
Really?
We almost dropped a nuclear bomb there. This is why we didn't do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We almost did.
There's a lot that happens out here that we don't even know about as far as the international.
Yeah. Oh, no. Eisenhower wanted to drop bomb left and right. It wasn't even him. It was the generals. Bomb them. That was the solution. Bomb them. So this is what happened. So they went to Korea, right? And they didn't even know the Chinese were infiltrating the Korean without them knowing. And they were backed by the Soviets. So the Soviet gave them nuclear weapons. So if they would have dropped that motherfucker, they would get a bomb dropped at them too. That's why they stopped. So, but then we find out that 7 years later, we wanted to drop a bomb on China again, this time in China. Because China was trying to annex Taiwan to the mainland, which is their land anyway.
Right.
I don't see why we're in this business because it's their land. They just defected. And it defected because of the influence of the British. Let's keep this shit real.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's keep this real. So after 50 years, of course, it's different culture. I can understand why they don't want to annex anymore. It's different mentality. But from the beginning, the only reason Hong Kong and Thailand and Macau and Shanghai are like different than mainland is because the British were occupying it. Let's keep this shit real. So we wanted to drop a bomb on China. And we knew the Soviet would retaliate. We were taking that risk. We were willing to bomb them and start a nuclear war just to stop China from annexing Taiwan. What's his name? Ellsberg. The journalist Ellsberg, he just posted that out a couple days ago. He posted that out. So the point with all I'm saying is that all those separate incidents, you see them as it's a distraction. It's when you gather all that stuff together, you see the big picture.
Exactly.
That's why I talk about all of that today. You're seeing the big picture. There's an overwhelming abuse of power by those who are super rich and super powerful. And in this, we are helpless cattle. We're helpless because no matter your vote don't mean shit. You know, they can just walk behind you and pay. You know, lobby. Legally called lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Your vote don't mean shit. And that's why I said yesterday, even though my vote don't mean shit, don't mean that people are not angry. Because that's why people are getting angry. Because they're realizing more and more that their vote don't mean shit. You know, and when people are desperate, they're going to start taking desperate measures.
And they're expecting that.
I know.
They're wanting that.
Yeah.
That's the body bags.
I think so. Probably you're right. That's what it is. But the white supremacists took it and just made it. I don't know where they come up with that fucked up theory. Especially they said they want to go to Africa and Egypt. Get the fuck out of my face. Leave Africa to us. We need somewhere to hide, not you. Go to Mount Caucasus or whatever. Go whatever. Go to Scandinavia.
No,
Yeah, whatever.
We need the African leaders to be aware.
Yes. Yeah, that's why this channel is essential. So that's my question every time. Where is Africa's interest in all that bullshit? Because now I just show you the big picture. Where is our interest in this? You know, because sure, there's the Soviet, but the Americans are doing the exact same shit. The thing is, they're more sloppy. Because everywhere we go, we live chaos, literally. You know, ipso facto, Iraq, Afghanistan. Even though we didn't wreak havoc in Venezuela, but look at it. It's a failed state. And now there's rumors that there may be terrorists in Haiti because it's a failed state. There's actually Islamic terrorists right now in Jamaica, and then where else? Trinidad. Well, actually, I take it back. One of the guys who flew through the World Trade Center, he married a Haitian woman. He was living in Haiti. So okay.
This is after the fact we're talking now, right?
Yeah, after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's when the FBI started looking and they find out that one of the wives was in Haiti. Yep.
Wow.
I know. And the bigger picture is now, okay, the Cold War, it's not over, but it's not that pervasive. But all these agencies, they keep violating our rights. There's no greater good anymore. You know, now not only they're violating them, they're selling it to the highest bidder.
Exactly.
The same way with all the banks. All the banks are in it. They're gathering your data and selling it to the highest bidder.
We're on the stock market.
It's wrong, man. It's wrong. That's why now when I went to go to a doctor and they asked me all those personal questions, I'm like, what the fuck for? Because I know we're gonna hit.
They want to see how healthy you are. They want to bank on how long you'll live, how long you naturally, you know.
Yeah, what the hell with all those pervasive questions? You know what Yep. And now I'm ready to floor to you guys. So, because I'm done. I'm out.
Once again, Miss Beatrice, the show is called The World According to Beatrice Noel. You know? Okay. And you come with the information and you give it.
I did.
You sure did. You sure did. This was This was a lot to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah, especially now you find out there's now, besides the CIA, there's a group of 60,000 people who belong to a secret army that is funded by several organizations. They have an annual budget of $900 million. So this is why they found out about them. Which one? It was the Newsweek who did the 2 years investigation because they found 600 resumes and 1,000 job posting. So they called it signature reduction, but Pentagon people call it actually operational security. So this is why I call them fucking assassins. Because they say they go around the world and kill whoever they need to kill. You know, for the interest of the greater good. Because they go to war zone and pursue terrorists in Pakistan, West Africa, North Korea, Iran. Bitch, please, you're assassins. Most likely to the highest bidder. Because there's 130 private companies funding them. That's dangerous. That's really dangerous.
Because they have no morals.
Yeah. And when you look at that, if you stare at the bigger picture, so you are forced to say maybe Vladimir Putin is fine where he is. Because they want to replace it by, what's his name? Navalny. Like,
I don't know.
Navalny, I think, yeah. The guy, yeah, he's an activist. He became famous for exposing the corruption. Between the corruption and the oligarch, the government official, and Vladimir Putin. So
right.
Yeah, but I have to say, you full of shit. Because you get rid of the head. Yeah, it's a hydra. You get rid of them, there'll be more heads. Just as corrupt. So you're full of shit. And this is what's gonna happen. If you remove all those heads and you do not have the proper infrastructure, you're just gonna create chaos. In the world. So I say leave the motherfucker where it is. Because you're not ready to replace him. You don't have the money. You don't have you have the CIA. That's all you have. You don't have the money. You don't have the connection. Okay?
Do they want to replace him, though? Do they want to replace him?
Yes.
No. I mean, no. Yeah. If they do get rid of him, and they create a state of chaos and instability, maybe that's their goal for whatever their end game might be.
Probably, but man, I don't agree with it, man. It's not only Russia's gonna suffer, the whole world's gonna suffer.
Once again.
Yeah, it's the whole world. Russia's not only like a big country, it's an economic and political force. You get rid of it, it's like, this is going to be a huge vacuum. No, I don't think it's right. They don't have the infrastructure to replace him, so leave it. Especially this guy, he was bred by the KGB. This guy breathes KGB.
Oh, God. Okay? That doesn't sound too good.
Yeah. He was his whole life. And the KGB, when they train you, 20% of your time, you have to create disinformation. You have to learn how to lie and create disinformation. Putin is a mastermind in misinformation. This is the difference between our spy organization and theirs, like China and Russia. CIA is not really, how would I say, faithful to the American. It's not the greater good of the American or the NSS to the highest bidder. Versus FSB cannot do nothing without Russia saying so. Same way with the Chinese, like you hear about Alibaba spying on the Hema, Alibaba, and all, or Ali app, or what's it, WeChat. They can't do nothing without Xi Jinping saying so. That's the difference. Because remember where the what's his name, the Alibaba guy, Mao, started talking all that shit. You cannot find Mao. He gone. He been gone for over a month.
Really?
Yeah, or like 2 months now. He gone.
Uh-oh.
Just saying. That's the difference. The same way with but that's why I give the side eye completely to Israel. It's just like Russia, Mossad or Block 8200 or whatever. They cannot do anything without Netanyahu saying so. But, now I'm really giving you the side eye. So basically, you are selling assassin and spies to the highest bidder to disrupt people's life. That is fucked up. That is real fucked up.
Yeah. Wow. This is a lot to chew on, Miss Beatrice.
It's a necessary meal. I'm loving it.
Yeah. This is a lot to chew on.
Yeah, but this is where you should be concerned. Because this is the map of Africa. I think y'all can see it where the Russians are right now. Like they have port in, they have like a military base in Madagascar. They have one in, now I wonder why. They got naval and flight, that naval and airport, like in Madagascar, Eritrea, Djibouti, like why? And even Sierra Leone.
Right.
It's like strategic positions. These niggas are getting prepared for war. And now they're saying that China made a show of force in the Pacific where they have way more boat fleet than we do. They have 200 or 2,000 boat fleet. Now coupled with the Russians. And now the Iranian is joining the club. Turkey is joining the club. So we really need to think this through. You're not going to win this. You're not going to win this.
Well, they have that superiority complex, the United States, through white supremacy. So they're not going out, they're not going to back down from anything. They have to show, this is the stage set for them to go out in a blaze because they have that arrogance and we have the best and we have this and they don't want to be embarrassed and the ego. And see, what scares me is that the leaders of America, they're going to be taken care of. See, they have their bunkers to run to. They have different, they can do this, but most people don't. The common man doesn't. I mean, something jump off and they say, listen, you got 15 or 20 minutes to go somewhere really safe. Where are we going to go? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what Bismanov said. He's like, where are you going to defect? He said, I defected here, but where are you going to go?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So in the long run, it's just the little people that suffer,
Yep. No, war, the casualty is always us. It's always us. It's like when we're stupid enough, we get in their military and die for them. And for what? And you barely get a meager pay to go die for them. For what? You come, and if you're not dead, you come back missing your limbs, missing your mind. Yeah, because your mind not dead, you're all fucked up PTSD.
Yeah. Casualties of war.
Yep.
Casualties of Babylon the whore.
Yep.
Brother Lance.
Yeah,
The
like
whole
wow.
bloodline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the power play ever. Especially now, they say that Saudi Arabia is getting interested in Africa too. My question is, what for?
Makes you wonder. There you go. Yes.
Yeah, cause y'all racist as
Mm-hmm.
fuck. That's my question. What for?
Resources.
Yeah, that's what it
Life.
is. Yeah, you don't
Mm-hmm.
like the color of my skin, but you like what I have. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they got no oil. That's why they're getting more like laxing, allowing tourists. The oil's almost gone. It's almost gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why here we're eyeballing Iran and Venezuela because they got the most massive reserve of oil. It's crude oil, but it's oil.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's one in the Arctic, but right now it's Russia, us, and Norway. China too. China's up there. But they've been there for years, so most likely we almost tapped that one. Yeah, we're almost tapping that one. So that's why they're eyeballing Venezuela and Iran.
Venezuela. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
Keep going, sis.
Me? Oh, I'm done, man.
I'm taking notes.
Oh, school
Yeah,
is in.
I know, right?
School
I
is
did. I
in.
did send some of the articles, the email, so you can read them. Yeah, because oh, I need my glasses so I can read. Yeah. So this. Oh yeah, we're getting there in the age we cannot read anymore. So since January 2018, Russia has deployed 175 civilian expert and military instructors, mostly under the cover of a private security company. Siwa pistols, artillery, and rocket launchers, and also train the Central African Republic Army. So he said the
Move the
Soviet.
chain. Move the chain. Move the
I
chain
know,
from
right?
your.
You know, it's all over my face. So
Mm-hmm.
that the Soviet Union was a major supplier of arms and military equipment to African states. With regard to Russia, despite a dramatic decline in the volume of its exports of major conventional weapons to African states during the 1990s, the amount increased again during the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to the Stockholm International Peace Institution, by 2012 to 2016, Russia has become the largest supplier of arms to Africa, accounting for 35% of arms export to the region, following by China 17%, the United States 9.6%, and France 6.9%. Arm export is a lucrative area for Russian economic growth. Currently, export
Mm-hmm.
of Russian-made weapons and military equipment through Africa amount to $4.6 billion annually, with a contract portfolio worth over $50 billion. The main importers of Russian arms in Africa are Algeria, helicopters, main battle tanks, submarines; Egypt, combat aircraft, long range air defense systems, helicopters; Angola, fighter jets, main battle tanks, artillery, arms and ammunition; and Uganda, tanks, air defense system. Other importers of Russian arms are Mali, Mozambique, Nigeria, Sudan, and Rwanda. So no wonder Macron was asking for forgiveness. And even the the German went to Namibia. How do you pronounce it? Because I know it's by Botswana, Namibia. Yeah, Namibia, and asking for forgiveness for what they did, because they kills hundreds and thousands of rebels, like fighting against the German occupation. Okay.
Wow.
Yep. Man, they have been in several countries, because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 22 countries so far.
And just think, all of this crucial information that you're sharing with us, and I'm not saying that anybody here doesn't know, but I'm just saying overall, look at us as overall. Many of us are not even concerned about these things, and we're sucking up all of this other ratchet foolishness, and they keep stuff in our face. The arguments between other Black folks who may have some
distracting
kind of
us.
Yeah. And countries and people are moving in strategic positions and doing a damn thing, and you don't hear nothing about it, nothing at all. That's crazy. How unaware we are. When stuff jumps off, we're going to have to not only know or find out in a crash course kind of way, like what's going on. Okay, this is what's going on. How do we deal with it when you could have been preparing all along? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
At least and be aware. It may not be where you have a fortress or a bunker or something like that, but be aware of the climate of what's going on in the world, so that you can make adjustments and move as you need to move while we can move.
Well, they're actually starting to impress upon us again now the importance of doing that over here. Last year March, it was the mad rush, do this, do that, do this, and then things kind of tapered off and cooled down. Well, now they're ramping up again. It's like this time, get your shit together.
Right.
So
right.
All the food that we stockpiled last year that we wound up eating all of it because nothing happened, we got to go back and start, putting it together again.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have the non-food items, that we still have ready, lights, water, things like that, But food items, you got to,
A lot of dry food
all who don't like canned food better stock up on canned foods and dry foods and
exactly, because that's the last. I don't like the idea of canned food, but if it's something that's going to keep me alive and something that can keep with bio warfare and different things that are going on. I mean, not to get extreme, but if stuff jumps off, it can really get bad. And people have this false sense of security that the government or the police or the military is going to take care of you no matter where you are in the world. Bottom line, I was listening to a gentleman on a show on a boxing program who, he spoke about certain things outside of it. And he said, listen, do you have a mask, a gas mask at least, and not this surplus stuff that you need? We're going out and buying these fancy rims for a car. We're going to the club and making it rain. But if you can't breathe, that's it. And you can take a little money, probably under $100 or around about, depending, and order a high class, high grade gas mask that will prevent you from choking to death in a few seconds. And he was saying, don't go to the Army surplus or any surplus, because those have defects and the things that are wrong with it. He was also saying about the canned foods, like, yeah, we can be vegan and we can be, oh no, I don't eat that. When it comes time to survive, and a lot of folks will look to cook another human being. Well, why not have a whole bunch of canned food that years and years? And if you don't eat, exactly, you know what I mean? Things change quick. Look, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm starving and can't survive, I'm not gonna say, well, I don't eat this stuff, whatever. And there's no fruit and no vegetables, and there's a Big Mac. Ronald McDonald, come see me. For real, I'm gonna live.
Remember where Alex just said he's going to eat his neighbor?
Hold on.
You never saw that?
Wow, that's crazy.
He said he was ready to eat his neighbors. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah.
Was this in a way of killing them and eating them on a plate, or was that a sexual statement?
Oh
No, it's
my
when the
God.
pandemic started. It's when the pandemic started. It was crazy. So let me see if I can find it. I don't know if you guys listened to it. It was stupid. Hold on, let me put the speaker on so y'all can hear. It was just he's something else. And they say he's fake. It's all an act so he can make money off of dumbasses. So let me see if I can make y'all listen to it. I don't know, like.
I think you're muted, Beatrice. You're muted.
I've extrapolated this out, and I won't have to for a few years since I got food and stuff. But I'm literally looking at my neighbors now going, I'm ready to hang them up, gut them and skin them and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. My daughters aren't starving to death. I'll eat my neighbors.
Oh, man.
My superpower. I will. I'm combat model, optimal self-sufficiency, probably the leader. The point is have you thought about that yet? Because I'm somebody that thought I could fix this, and I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbors. You think I like sizing up my neighbor? How I'm going to haul him up by a chain and chop his ass up? I'll do it. My children aren't going hungry. I will eat your ass. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first.
Okay. Right from the beast's mouth. She ain't gonna eat my ass. They eat my ass. People are stupid. And this is why it's like worrisome, because the shit he says, people just go out there and do it. Remember the Pizzagate thing? Where he said there was like a pedophile ring under a pizza shop, and a dude just showed up at the pizzeria with a gun, looking for an underground basement that didn't even exist.
Oh my God. We just have to be on our guard.
Yeah, with them, yes, we do, because they're crazy. They're crazy.
I don't think it's just them. I don't think it's just them.
Oh, I kind of agree, because I was kind of shocked that the Proud Boys leader was a black man, even if he's Cuban. He's still a black man.
Right.
Try to explain that to me. But they came to find out he's
right there.
Came to find out he's an FBI informant too. That's why people were calling him the cousin of Takashi 69, because Takashi 69 was a snitch for the FBI as well.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
They're talking all that game banging shit. Meanwhile, you're a goddamn snitch. Get the fuck out of my face.
He used the media and social media to get his name out there, and made money with the videos and the music.
Yeah.
A well-paid snitch.
Yeah. But the thing is, that was really funny. He turned against QAnon. Most likely because QAnon was getting more traction than he was. They even made a parody song about him cussing out the QAnon priest. What did he do? Prophet? Priest? What the fuck he is anyway? I don't know. But it was kind of funny. Like, come to see the fight a parody song. Yeah, so say what the F bra. Yeah, it was kind of funny, the parody song. But he actually said all that bullshit. I heard it, so let me have y'all listen. I'm muted.
But you said it's a song?
Yeah, hold on here.
No, you can we do that, Lance?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't play any copywritten music on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They'll strike the.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys.
Okay. Okay.
Let's have on the speech.
Yeah, drop it in the room. Drop it in the chat room. Drop it in the chat room.
I'll drop it there instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get it and send it to you guys, and you guys can listen to it. Yeah. And that song, well, it doesn't have enough views, but whatever. It got at least 200,000 views. But I think it's the funniest. Cause he even wasn't considering a young Turk. So I was like, why he was saying that? It's because, of course, Alex Jones is a very narcissistic person. So he's like the malignant narcissist because he's paranoid as fuck. So yeah, because when it's coupled with the paranoid and the viciousness, that's malignant narcissist. So it's the rivalry with QAnon. That's why he's talking against them. Because he was saying that you're lying, you're full of shit. I will not suffer you QAnon people for this. That's what he was saying.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, it's a foolishness. All right, so I just shared the link. But it's real funny. It's real funny.
Well, this has been an education, I will say. This has really been an education. I don't know for anybody else, but I got a lot out of this.
Yeah, like I said, just if it's scattered stories, you don't see the big picture. But this is when you start like looking like from afar, then you see the big picture and all the damages they're causing.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So, Brother Lance.
Yeah, you got the floor. I'm done. You know my limit is 2 hours. I just did 2 hours.
Mr. Scurv.
I see. Time flies when you're having fun.
You have the floor, sir.
Wow.
Take it away.
I have the floor.
Yeah.
I was seated for a while. I haven't done a show in a long time seated, so I had to raise everything up on the table and reposition myself because I was getting too relaxed and I like to stand up. All those years of working in corrections and driving a bus, sitting down, I had to stand up like I am now, so I'm good. But Sister Beatrice, thank you for bringing it. I mean, each bullet point could have been a whole show itself, but you broke it down real good. You threw out some good facts. And that's one of those gems of a show that will go on forever because you're a true historian and you really brought it tonight. And, we have fun and break things down. But I know a lot of us are going to have some very strange espionage dreams tonight because a lot of us are not used to thinking that way. But we have to be aware of what's going on, not just on us walking around America and how these police treat us, but look at what's going on with the heads of state and leaders and espionage and spying and setting up military bases all over the world. And they say that we're paranoid and this kind of stuff is going on in the world. I don't think we're justified and we're spiritual beings. We can feel these things and feel the tension around us. And so this is why I say, if you can, take to the mountains and get away from this place, wherever it may be. It's not just getting out of America because you can leave America and run into another place that's not too hot. This is a global thing. You can't get away from it completely, but you can minimize it. Just follow your mind, your spirit, just stay connected and you can't go wrong with nature, but it's all over the world. But just try to always, instead of getting caught up in the Breakfast Club style gossip and the housewives of whatever, gossip and these reality shows. Just take a little time and see what's going on all over the world. And not only that, and I just want to say this for a minute, instead of just trusting CNN and headline news and all of these different platforms that are compromised and are made to engineer your thinking into being dumbed down or take it to another place. Whenever you see something happening in the news, look, we have emails now, we have FaceTime, we have ways of instantaneously reaching out to people. Reach out to people in those countries. When you're on a website and they have a chat room or a message board or just whatever, reach out to these people. It doesn't cost them anything. It doesn't cost you anything. You got to find out what the real deal is on the ground. It's like being there. Talk to the people. This is a start. We know the history, but talk to the people to see what's going on, because you'll find oftentimes that when you see a platform that they have, as far as the news is concerned, it's diametrically opposed to what's going on with the people. Look at us in America, our stories, what's happening to us, how we're shot down and harassed by the police systematically, but they only report certain things, what's important to them. But you see more sports, more basketball, more football, more baseball, escapism. And we're going to a plan. Yeah, people are making money. We focus on that more. When you look at Google and what's trending, you see nothing but sports and this stupid stuff that these people talk about, these actors and actresses, somebody died or whatever have you, but it's it's not relevant to what we're going through, and it's not relevant to the world, and therefore we're unaware and rendered ignorant to what's really going on around us in the world. Let's just try to change that a little bit. Just make a little effort, and you'll be surprised at how you feel empowered after going and doing your own research. And Sister Beatrice Noel, you're the master of the research, and I thank you for that.
Applause, applause, clap, clap. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes. That's right. And it's these same big hands that I have that if you come against Beatrice Noel, I'll smack the taste out of your mouth.
Lord have mercy.
And we'll make your dentist rich because you'll be picking up your teeth like bloody chicken on the ground. That's right. We love you, sister. We love you, Empress G.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
indeed.
So nice. And like I said, it's the quality that I want to bring. It's not just hits. I can get some hoochies to come dance behind me half naked and get a lot of hits. What is that?
You don't even need to research, Lance. When I go on Twitter, I just look at what's trending, and I only pay attention to politics. That's how I know in the moment what's going on. I just don't pay attention to the gossip. Just focus on the politics.
That's what Twitter's for. But your gift, look, you can put a whole bunch of people in front of Twitter. Like, Twitter's boring. I don't want to go there. They're going to end up on Facebook. They're going to end up on YouTube. Yeah, TikTok or something.
I wouldn't be on Facebook or anything like that. But that would be me.
And like I said, I'm on it to a minimum because it's what I do, and you got to distribute stuff. I just use it to distribute and come to the shows and stuff. But to be on there and just, look at that one. Look at her butt. Oh man. So what? He bought a brand new car, but he worked at McDonald's. How he get that money? Oh man, I knew that grandma was messing with that young boy. Oh man, it's just craziness. Right?
A lot of distractions.
They'll pull you in.
Exactly, and that's what they're pushing. YouTube and Facebook. That's what they're pushing because they keep you distracted.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, like from Haiti. From Haiti, we have the habit of always reading or listening to the radio. Because if you don't know there's a protest or there's a riot, you're going to fucking die. So you need to know if the streets are hot or not. Exactly. So that's why I got the habit.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
No better.
Yeah.
I got the habit. So I think probably it's the same with some Africans from some countries because you need to know if the streets are hot or not. If not, you might get shot out there.
That's right. You ain't lying.
That's a T-shirt.
Well, as far as current events is concerned, Beatrice got the habit because she got to have it. She got to find out. She got a good habit there. Wake up and see what's going on, And once you know, you can conduct yourself accordingly. and you can't go wrong like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know this. You ain't tell me. Look, we all have to do our due diligence and really get into what's needed to keep us alive and make the strategic moves to keep us alive instead of saying, oh, Jesus gonna save me, the Lord gonna save me. I'm watching the housewives of the hood and the thoughts of the hood, but Jesus gonna save me. Yes, he is.
No, he ain't. Jesus saved his ass, so he's in heaven already. Now save your own butt. But that's the thing too. That's why I was really annoyed with the beginning of last year when you can see the pandemic coming, but nobody was talking about it. So I was scouting all news channel, DW, Al Jazeera, Russia Today. Nobody was talking about it. I even scouted like the Iranian one. Nobody. Because Press TV, that's Iran. The Turkish one, I forgot its name. Telesur, nobody was talking about it. Meanwhile, you see this thing coming. Because every day, people from Wuhan was posting what's happening. And then, that's the thing. Because now you find like those California's rich Asian motherfuckers calling us black people who don't want the vaccine, all kind of assholes. Where it was not us assholes who was escaping quarantine by the million and spreading the disease left. I don't say it's y'all because it was Chinese, but don't be start calling us assholes.
Yeah. Well, once again, that's for another day.
Yeah, for another day. So I'm just gonna leave it right there. I'm leave it right there.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Yeah. Me, I ain't said nothing. I just said it. I said my piece.
Okay.
It just, yeah.
She spent.
I'm done.
All right. Thank you so much, Beatrice. Let me know when you're ready again. We can do this every daggone day. I love it. I love it. I love your style. I love your energy. And Empress Elegy, you just rounded out really nice. And we're going to keep this thing going. So the wheels ain't going to run off because we tune it up every single day.
That's right. That's right. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks everybody that hung in there with us. I'm sure you learned something.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
That's right.
Y'all take care.
Take care, hon.
Yes.
Sun is rising, feel the warmth on my face. There's a lot to do now, but there ain't no race. I sit gotta take it off.